Welcome to Godspeed TV. Tonight's segment, into Gematria, Chicago Public Housing. We're going to go into the energies that go into that. Tonight, rocking with your host, Pomo, a.k.a. Bruce Spiritual. Where we cross all dimensions, universes, parallel universal situations, ideal and ideology, and make them make sense. Before we enter Gematria, we're going to have a word from your boy Phil Valentine. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just rock with me. Get your blunts roll, wine glasses, whatever you do. A couple people trying to get in here. Tonight we talk about Chicago public housing, Gematria input, and all the energies that goes into that ideology. AKA Section 8. If y'all don't know what that is, that's public housing. You ain't got enough money to get your own spot, as they say. Like I said, Godspeed TV, we're going to get it in today. Into Gematria. Giving my dog time to come on downstairs. You know, he got to come here and snore. Some of y'all ain't familiar with Gematria. To me, it's external tarot. Tarot is the inner, Gematria is the outer. The outer worlds, the outer dimensions, the outer personality, the exo DNA instead of the introverted DNA. I'm going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate today. Like I said, this is your boy Pomo, a.k.a. Bruce Spiritual, Godspeed TV. Like, subscribe, share, add. Please, y'all, help me out. Let's get the word out. I don't know if y'all know about the Jolly Ranchers. Jolly Ranchers and weed. Yeah. Sour ones for some tongue. We're going to get started. All right, y'all ready to go? Let's do this. Tonight, we're talking about Chicago Housing Authority, a.k.a. Section 8. First, we're going to give a word from an elder who I always like to scribe with, Phil Valentine.
All of the different quote-unquote discoveries that we're getting today is based upon the perception that present man has of himself, or the present church or religious venue of science. Science is a form of religion, just like politics is a form of religion. Religion is a form of religious thinking. It is the marginalization of thought or certain abstracts into a formula. And then that formula is meshed over, and you take a piece, I'll take a piece, and everybody has a little piece, and they'll see what they can extract or mold out of that little piece. Genetics is simply one of the branches of the mold that we're studying. And it's interesting that the more we find out genetically about ourselves, the more we get to that little black box, which no one seems to want to speak about except us, and that is melanin.
Just stop right there. Shit. The black box. I call it Rubik's Cube. Man, this shit fine. God damn. Anyway, let's talk about that black box. We finna go into Rubik's Cube, and we gonna check out Chicago Public Housing Authority, aka Section 8, and see what it got to do with this shit that's going on today. Kaba is radioactive. Let me give you the 1076 is a weight 1722 and 287. So let's see what we got. Chicago Public Housing Authority. These are numerical value or weight. Now 278, 2 Tahati. 287, 187, 287, 2 Tahati, 8 spear stuck between concrete objects, 7 imagination. We're gonna see what the 2 mean. The 2, what we getting into with the 2. We're just doing simple. We're gonna go to the 2. Okay. Tahati, spear 2. One of the meanings of man, making man in the likeness of God, is the endowment of man with the ability to receive within his spirit the solutions to all life problems. We can go there all day. But that's 2. 8. A major source of man problems and people's lives is the ignorance of the fact that being informed is not the same as knowing. Let's go to 7. A major source of problems in people's lives is the misuse of the imagination, which is the chief faculty through which we cultivate and reinforce our behavior. Okay? Chicago Public Housing Authority. There we go. We got Kaba is radioactive. The train has left the station. Ara Zobat. We're going to see who this is. Ara Sobania. Figured it out. Now we're going to go into that land right there. I want to know who that is too and what they got to do with Chicago Public Housing Authority. Let's see. Oh, shit. Hold on. Who was Kobe Bryant? Wait, what? Oh, Kobe Bryant pilot? My bad, y'all. My bad. That was Kobe Bryant pilot. I don't know what they got to do with Chicago Public Housing Authority. Let's see. We're going to go into it. Bear with me. Araz Zobania, a pilot in Kobe Bryant crash, might have been disoriented in fog, NTCBS say. I don't see what they got to do with Chicago Public Housing Authority, but we'll take it for what it's worth. We're going to keep going. Beam me up, Scotty. I know they're talking about crackheads. Let's look into Beam me up, Scotty. Let's go down that rabbit hole and see what they're talking about. Beam me up, Scotty. Okay. Tell all vaccinated. Tell all vaccine mark. As below. Jim Morrison. My heart is pure. Friday the 13th. No stupid fine hidden patterns. You're not going to be mad. N.O. Purgatory. The Invisible Man. End time strong delusion. We got that from Beam Me Up Scotty. Chicago Public Housing Authority, a.k.a. Section 8. Angela White. Scientology Church. We are all eyes on me. We ain't got the Tupac going. Let's see. We'll get back to your man.
We speak about DNA because DNA is almost neutral in its context. Everything that has a biological basis has DNA. So does rocks, dirt, everything has some form of DNA structure because it is part and parcel of a living, breathing, sentient, conscious planet. So there is no part of what we live on or what we participate in that is not conscious. Not only of itself, but as itself. So when brother brought this particular information to us, what happened is that every time there is a new breakthrough in science, and I know that there are other metaphysicians and other spiritual people who know what I'm speaking about, that every time someone comes to us with something new that science has discovered, the occultist, the metaphysician, the one who studies the spirit, already knows what that formula is. We just have not yet interpreted the language that they've used to describe what they've discovered. But once we get a chance to look at it for a while, we know, based upon the science of metaphysics and the study of the occult realms that our ancestors have studied, we know what they are touching upon and what they are looking through. So he may hide behind his codes, which probably, if you punch in the letters DNA, you probably get right to them. You have to see that his constant fractionalizing of life is based upon the way that he sees through the prism of his reality. He cannot see or abstractly understand and understand whole beings and whole things. The Caucasoid has a frame of reference that cannot see the wholeness of a thing. He may be able to describe the surface of it, but his ability to interface with that thing that he is observing, he does not have the mechanism, the crystalline mechanism necessary for him to access that. Oh, there are many who have crossed that line by studying ardently and religiously, quote unquote, and fervently with the dark-skinned masters. But they still do not engender the immediacy of the spirit. They have to describe it in abstract forms through their formulas and what they believe they see as we consciously move through ever-evolving stages in the spirit.
Okay. Let's go back. And we got Section 8, Beam Me Up Scotty. All Eyes on Me. I know it's like the Tupac. As I see it, they always watching. You know what I'm saying? Got cameras everywhere. But Church of Scientology is one that strikes me. And I know they had their hand at many things. And businesses and many things. And they make money off all type of ways you don't have no clue. So could this be one of their creations? Under the King Von Act? O-Block? See Bible will. Ezekiel will. Harry Muscle, big tall man. A sight for sore eyes. A, back to the beginning. I am your master. Alisa Stovacia. Jonathan Parker. C1 vertebrate. Black Pope Obama. Sibelius Soros. Let's see what that is. Let's see. Black Pope Obama Sibelius. Let's check that rabbit hole and see what they're talking about. We already got Scientology in here. We kind of can figure that out. Let's see. Okay. What we got here? We got a video. Okay. Damn video. Okay. Catholic Spring Weekly News reveal how George Soros, Obama, and Hillary Clinton orchestrated a group against Pope Benedict for their puppet, Pope Francis. Oh, really? You know nothing about that one. Glenwood, Fake World, Claudine Jackson, Sue's Crisis, My family seer, Dust Bunny. All money belonged to Dion Amore. Let's figure it out. I don't know who that is. Spiraling Consciousness. Cedric Hargraves. Annex Supermax. Austin is a Palladian and an Anunnaki, carrier of the seed of infidelity, like a radio receiver. That's your fault. Gar Matonic, a wise man. Afterwards, I don't even know the words. Twali Quail, lovers of men, Satan crying, almost dead. Trevortron, Felite versus is a chameleon, Firewolf, narcissistic bully, Saturn is Ra and Nut, Apocalypse chapter 8, King Phil the Fifth, Pope Francis. Now these are the energies that's going into Chicago public housing, but y'all gotta bear with me, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be trying to do 4 things at one time. Let my man get it in though.
So every time the spirit becomes more and more evident within each of us, he discovers a little something different or more about himself. But you see, we've already put that into capsulized form as peoples of color around the world through the way we dance, through the way we sing, through the instruments that we create in order to interface with that sound, light, frequency, and vibration that we call the Spirit of God. And I'm doing all of this before we condense into the particulars, because once we do the particulars, we're getting into the white frame of reference. And what I want to do now is to set the groundwork for how we must see and interface with the information. We as metaphysicians and occultists know that every time science discovers something, we know that it's them catching up to the metaphysician, catching up to the spiritualist.
Let's go back. And we're going into Chicago Public Housing Authority, Section 8. What goes into making of the projects, the Cabrini Greens, and then they broke them down and spread it to everybody out throughout the land with that mentality. What mentality? All right, into Gematria, Chicago, Section 8 Public Housing Authority. Good. Oh my God, no he is. No, yes he is. The serpent bearer, the God of man, 13th Zodiac. They might be talking about a Petrius going into the fourth dimension. Confirmation, God's messenger, translated hidden meaning message, confirmed father of the serpent. It's time for the Lord to come. The undeniable fire dragon proof. The meek shall inherit the earth. Now I got a word here that I cannot pronounce. So what we gonna do is go into that rabbit hole. And those are little trinkets that, they want to tell you, but they kind of don't want to tell you. So we're gonna go into that rabbit hole, see what that word is. Sonoy, Samila Goloof. Now let's say, but what that mean? What they talking about with that? Who are you? Sonoy, and Siman Gilof. The story of the 3 angels charged with safeguarding newborn babies and their mothers. Oh, really? Let's see what that got to do with something. The quest for a proven, functioning, magical amulet, one whose supernatural powers can be trusted with certainty, has led buyers to prefer amulets ordained with fixed and familiar mystic formulas. Since the most common Jewish amulet known to us are those designed to protect women giving birth, we can safely assume that the 3 angels who appear on these type of charms are amongst the most common figures associated with the Hebrew amulet. Their names are Sanoi, Sasanoi, and Siman Galof. Interesting. I don't know what they got to do with. Well, It got a lot to do with Chicago Public Housing Authority. So we could be talking about parent planning here. But is it that pre-parent planning? Was it least parent planning? What they got it? Pre-planning, um, parent planhood. Can lease a kid or give a kid away. I don't know. Who that was though. Can you feel the love tonight? Now that the Chicago Housing Authority back in 1970, that sound like Al Green. That sound like the love music. It was back then when Sam Cooke, Al Green, Teddy Pendergrass. You know what I'm saying? And for y'all just tuning in, we're talking about Chicago Public Housing Authority, into Gematria and the energy, dynamics, and situation, phrases, words, and ideologies that's imprinted into the mind of the people to give an external reality as if what we call the DNA of this situation. So we already just came up out of Scientology. As we know, that's a big organization. And they could have created the Public Housing Section 8 Authority situation to monitor, observe, and, engram people, test run. You know how it go. We got cameras everywhere, but ain't nobody watching. Doreen Virtue Angel Number. The healing hand. Yes, you are. I am nothing without you. The answer is in the painting. A true moment of revelation. The answer is in the painting. Let's see what let's go into that rabbit hole. The answer is in the painting. We painting pictures in the hood, in the projects. Taylor Swift, New Currency, Elizabeth Warren. Y'all gotta rock with me now. If y'all know something about what's going on, say something now. I don't know everything. I'm getting it in with you too. So we talking about the painting. The first thing I see is Taylor Swift. I can imagine, an Elizabeth Warren, actual bride of Jesus Christ. So we got what's that nigga name? Nas X. So he's a poster boy for Chicago Public Housing Authority, the new children under the Nas X files. With Rowd'em Cowboy to get the kids to like him, and then when they look at him now, he look like that. So it said Rise of the Skywalker. The answer is in the painting, Johnson and Johnson. Then they get sued. Hallelujah, King of Kings returns. Taylor Swift. So Monarch Project, Taylor Swift, Monarch Project, Disney Monarch Mind Program Project. Torture, Mind Program, rape, all that old crazy shit. Yeah. Disney Monarch Mind Program. See how deep this rabbit hole go, but we're gonna go back. We can't go, we don't want to get into more Johnson baby powder getting sued and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, on the news. But let me slow down. My blunter went out. Let me find my surprisingly my dog ain't down here snoring. I guess this is a beautiful day. My man's up there minding his business. Give me a second. Up to Chicago Public Housing Authority, aka Section 8.
There is nothing that he will ever discover that is not already known by the very few peoples who still retain the ancient wisdom knowledge, the ancient wisdom sciences, the mystery science that they talked about in ancient Kemet, the shamanic sciences that they talk about amongst the indigenous people. We already know this. But it is necessary because our children are caught up in this paradigm where everything needs to be fractionalized, torn apart, eviscerated, thrown up into pieces, ripped apart, so that you can see how the little pieces work. That's fine. We'll do that. But we must never lose sight of the fact that with every discovery in his own fragmented way of thinking, we must take that discovery and put it back into the piece so that we see how the whole operates. In that way, we won't end up making machines that tear down whole forests, that rip up the skies and the water. Because he is so estranged from the living beingness of this planet, he can, without any conscience, without any responsibility, do what he's doing to the planet.
Chicago Housing Authority, creating a monster and spreading these motherfuckers out throughout the land. Y'all know y'all wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm be sitting next to the white man like, Joe, damn, she out there cussing. This shit with pampers all on the ground. And what the fuck going on? These niggas coming over here shooting pistols in the backyard. And then they got a picket white fence over there, and a girl named Katie and her dad named Brandon. Boy, they think they playing Tavistock social engineering genetics. Boy, y'all better quit playing with people, boy. This ain't the same America. Let's go. Chicago Public Housing Authority, aka Section 8. The true moment of revelation. And she still stayed with him. Archangels are extraterrestrials. Transform your mindset. Holy Sun, born in Aquarius. December 21st, end date. Child molester's mouthpiece, who is quantum number. And to anoint the most holy, divine gene laid down the law. The Lord Yahshua's second advent. Martin Luther King Jr. Not the Martin Luther King Jr. Let's see what they mean with the Martin Luther King. Let's check them out. Hey, Ray, Jesus is here. Mark is going to hell. I don't know who Mark is. What really happened? Is it wet yet? Martin Luther King used to be on the phone trying to, do the what's the name with the ladies. He had a habit like Muhammad Ali for the women, and he used to trick off with the women instead of drugs and anything like that. That was his candy. Is it wet yet? Phone sex. He who is the Lisi Batian King. Now we ain't gonna let that ride. And for y'all, give me a second. I'm gonna spell it out to you. Leiscerbetettian. I don't even feel like saying that, but I would, but I don't. We're gonna go into that. We're gonna see who that is under the Martin Luther King Act. Where he at? All right, what does this mean? Under Martin Luther King, what are they talking about? What is we talking about here? Oh, no. Wrong example. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. Let's see. Oh, shit. Okay, what's this about? Are we talking about the man king thing? Where we at, y'all? Where we at? Speaking backwards is the truth. People who adore the devil, the greatest psychopath of all times. Let me pause, y'all. Now we're getting back. Now we just went into Martin Luther King. We just went into Martin Luther King under the act of the Chicago Public Housing Authority. And we went into Martin Luther King. They said he was into that site some type of way. And it said he who is the Luciferian King. And then I went into that rabbit hole to see what this got to do with Martin Luther King and Chicago Public Housing Authority, right? So give me a second. This is what it say. People who adore the devil, the greatest psychopath of all time, he who rules over all government, God hates hands that shed innocent blood. You serpents are very doomed, making money off people's misery. The wickedness combined with ignorance. I just told y'all that about the Church of Scientology. The powers of Zenus, magnificent groom of the 888. Christ's anger directs and Satanists. Christ's anger directed at satanic or Satanists. Zeus put a snare out for his enemies. Zeus destroyed Roman legions. All European monarchs shall be removed. The serpents become residue in the end. Deadly day for the guilty of child abuse. The bastardess will not see the hour. I can see past, present, and future. The only reference point of your timeline. She of wisdom of the Trinity. Give the one who is special to me a sign. Everyone who is a bride of Christ. See through deceptive nutrients. See through deceptive nature. Zeus rejects all Christians. The crucifix is a symbol of human murder. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Knowledge comes from the partial lobes. We all need you to love yourself. The evolution into a new creation. The consciousness of the Libridiate. My cup runneth over with love. Here is the key to the rest of the web. The one who is an angel of Lubridius, the king of Lubridius, has the crown. Lubridius are the city of archangels, unlike anything you ever seen before. Lubridius is an andronic name, city where the star of Lubridius. Lubridius has an andronic gate, spider webs outside the front door. Watch out for those webs. One who understands mysteries. Seek him that makes ye the 7th star. Now that just going, we ain't gonna even go. We gonna back up. Let's get back out of that. I don't know what they got. We do know what they got to do with Martin Luther King, but we gonna get back up out of that so we can go deeper and deeper. I didn't even know they wrote that shit online. So let me get a break real quick. My mouth getting dry. Let me get my water and let my man talk. And then now tonight, this is your boy Pomo, aka Bruce Spiritual, and we are talking about Gematria and Intro Section 8. Chicago Public Housing Authority, all the energies, dimensions, the where, the why, the who, the secrets that's behind it, we shall be revealed tonight. And so far, we got Martin Luther King, and then we got somebody else over here in the corner talking about some ruthless shit. Y'all bear with me. It's the elders. Respect the elders.
Because this is the way he sees science. He sees what life is. It's just things for him to rip up and study. Consequences be damned. They'll come later. So I must place into the records that his ever deeper incursion into the study of DNA is his ever deeper incursion into the study of dark matter consciousness, which is the study of melanin. Because melanin is the intelligence that makes the spirit real to us. It is the aspect of spirit that weaves the intent and the will of the Creator into something that we can perceive, something that we interface with through time and space, something that we can say, this is this and that is that. It gives us depth. It gives us perception. Melanin differentiates the one spirit into the many things that we witness as reality.
Okay, Chicago Section 8 Public Housing Authority. Let's go back into what he was saying. Martin Luther King came up. We just read what we just read about that. We seen how that sound. I'm going to keep going, y'all. Bear with me. I'm learning. We learning. I call it teach learn. If y'all know what any of these words mean, please type it in the chat room. You know something I don't know, let me know. I'm going to back it up, but hold on. Let me see. Okay. We got Martin Luther King Jr., the one speaking in metaphors. Divine facts on the apocalypse. Divine facts on the apocalypse. I have the tools for success. Let me breathe, y'all. Let me breathe. I'm trying to do too much. The Son of Righteousness. There is a definite correlation. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Now they got these codes that you got to read real careful because this shit is like bunched up. So I think it means something when I read it. So I'm going to try to do it. Okay. Tenda Fairy's Heart Daughters. Tenda Fairy's Heart Daughters. Tenda Fairy's Heart Daughters. There is no shelter for evil. A Capricorn male with a satanic Bible. Destroy Satan. Ain't that Adam's first wife? They said she was too strong for Adam, or was she too strong for Satan? Man, y'all better quit playing with me. Boy, Andrew Bean, Norway, the killer. Let's see who that is. They got a killer we don't know about in this bitch. Let's see. Is he the one running around in these places killing and people thinking we killing each other, and then we start killing each other, and then he step back and go eat some motherfucking oysters or some shit raw, you know, from real motherfucking steak with the blood coming out that motherfucker. I got pardon me, man. I'm a little crazy in this motherfucker. All right, we're gonna go to him. Who is Anders? What do he got to do with Chicago Public Housing Authority under the Section 8? Like, oh, this nigga look crazy. Anders, Mr. Anderson, Bingberg Jivas, also known by his proto-pseudonym, is a Norwegian domestic terrorist who committed the 2011 Norway attacks. On July, remember this date, on 22nd July 2011, he killed 8, remember this, 8 by detonating the car bomb, and then he killed 69 participants of the Workers' Youth League summer camp in a mass shooting in the on the island of Utana. He was convicted as a mass murder casualties faded. Man, he was getting it in. So what do this have to do? What was I finna say? Okay. So we gotta remember these dates. So we got 69 under the Pisces Act. So that must have been in the March essence. And then now we got 22. And then he killed 8 people. So we got 8 and then 69. So we got 8. I'm going to what 8 means. 69. 15, 6. So 8, 6, 8, 6. 8, 6, 5. So we come out to 5. We're gonna check out what this whole situation and what he got into mean under the metal nectar. We're gonna go to the 5th spirit because I just added up all those killings and we deducted it. So it is our identification with our persons and its frailties that causes us at times to avoid suffering, loss, or to seek gain, even if we must do it at the expense of others. This is the essence of injustice. This is what this nigga problem was. A variation of the Hek Haru theme of detachment from the person is the ruthless opposition of ourselves to desire and condition of the lower part of the being. Many people fail to realize that a law of their being, framed in the 5th spirit, demands this type of behavior as the ultimate stance against the lower nature. Instead, they seek chemical way out, as in, like I'm doing right now, as in use of the diet pills or the cigarette patches, or to expect to overcome happiness solely through hypnotherapy and subliminal messages and so on. We are here learning that you have to engage in all 10 aspects of your being in order to change your life. One of them is Haru, is ruthless, and the result opposition to your habits. Go to war with your lower self. Go to war with yourself. See, he tried to do it, but he went to war on everybody else. And that was Gogovich. We won't call him Mr. Anderson problem. And we all know who Mr. Anderson is. Yeah, so he couldn't separate. You know, it's a time when you got to go to war with your lower self. 5th is the separation. You know, you got 9, but life, imitation. 8, concrete object situations. 7, imagination. 6, Haru, and then 5. 6 Haru is a realization that you are you, or they call him Jesus and stuff like that. That I am the one under the Neo Act. 5 is a separation that say, okay, I am one under the Neo Act. I am that I am. I do have knowledge and very different from everybody else, but let me separate myself from that self, from their self, from the lower self. What do you mean? Mind over matter now. Let's try to see if my brain can control my body. And I'm gonna go to war, meaning viciously do it. Like, no, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. I ain't on at war. And then you're gonna realize when you go to war, you're gonna feel that other self, like, man, what you want, nigga, that ego, you gonna feel him. You like, damn, nigga, I didn't even know you was in there. Cause you ain't never boxed him. That's why you ain't know he was there. You ain't never went to war with yourself. And I ain't talking about back and forth like no revolver shit under the air fire. I'm talking about war with your lower self, the shit you know you ain't supposed to be doing, shouldn't be doing, and try to do something different. You ain't never went to war with that. So fire eat 1 time a day. Granny Smith apples and sunflower seeds, lemon water, as making alkaline. If you ain't got no alkaline water, you can make alkaline water with lemon. Cut the lemons up and put one of them in the half, and the water will become alkaline, and it'll burn all the excess toxins and fat off your body. Me don't need that. Well, I got 1% body fat. I'm like under the Bruce Lee guy. I need the calisthenics. But we gonna let me stop. Let me fucking quit playing with y'all. All right. We got to the Norway dude. He was a killer. Ain't no killer, but don't push me. We've been just like a Swedish joy message getting pussy. I broke down the 5th spirit. So his act of separation was eternal, external. He had no spirituality. So he took that war on the lower self as war on all people and things of that nature. That's how I look. That's why I said in the Metal Nectar, it's a ruthless situation, depending on who you're going to war with. A lot of these brothers do that to themselves or do it to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Now we smoking too.
So the study of DNA and the study of genius is the study of melanin, of which the first peoples of the planet, have the abundance of. You see, when they mine us, when they stole us, when they captured us, when they came over and they tore up our ancestry and destroyed us, they knew they were doing the same thing that their scientists were doing, ripping up the melanin, tearing it apart, taking away its homogeneity, its oneness, and its unified form of the world, and fragmenting it into all these different tribal mentalities that separate us one from the other.
Chicago Public Housing Authority, gang banging, vice lords, GDs. We can go on. But I'm going to let them finish talking. I just wanted to give y'all an example. And from doing that, he created Lilith will destroy Satan. We got to that killer, the architect of the universe. Saint Rusha, Abyss of Aries. Let's see what that is. I'm with y'all. Hold on. I'm going to say the word. Saint R. Rusticula, Abbeys of Aries. And we're going to see what that is. I got a part of me, man. Sometimes I don't be feeling like reading shit that I don't feel like reading. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't feel like reading shit because I don't know why they wrote it like that. I got time for that shit, man. The fuck they write it in English, man. I don't read this shit. Now, let's see what they're talking about. Chicago Public Housing Authority. As a child, Rucusta was raised in a convent of Aries, France. Sometimes little girl would take a nap as one of the nuns propped her on her knee. The nun would gently recite a poem in the child's ear. As Rucusta awoke and hears the words, she absorbed them, so that by a teenager years she knew poems by heart. Remaining at the convent to become a nun, Rucusta excelled in meekness, obedience, and prudence. When only about 18, she was chosen to become her convent's abbess. As the other nuns slept, she spent whole nights in church cheerfully praying prayers for the religious and prayer or cheerfully offering prayers for the religious entrusted to her care, and for all the lay faithful beyond the convent walls. One night upon falling asleep, Rucusta experienced a vision of a Virgin Mary, Saint Lucy, clothed in a gold-threaded dress. Lucy, remember the movie, y'all, addressed Rucusta as Marcia, the nickname her family had used for her when she was a child. We're going to look that up in Gematria. Marcia, know that when you will have departed from this body, you shall have a portion with me, actually with the rest of the virgin disciples of Christ who have fought for the name of their Lord. I don't know what the hell that got to, well, I mean, y'all might know. I figure it's like this. Mary had a little lamb. Her shit was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, the spot was sure to blow. Like that. You know, pull a girl. They better leave the little babies alone. You know what I'm talking about?
Have us fighting Chucky one dog. Another, just like he's been doing. So he's ripped up not only us from the earth and from our places where we were indigenous to, he's ripped up our consciousness. He's torn melanin into shreds. He has miscegenated us so that we no longer can tap into the deeper dark matter consciousness that is our legacy within the central part of our brains.
All right. The Messiah and an Aphrodite. We're going to go into that. The 10 Commandments are from the Kabbalah, but now she's out to get me. Christianity is adultery. Blacks, your scar is legendary. What meaneth this old prophet? Antonio Benjamin Martirio. Sorry, not concentrating. What is the purpose of a war? We're gonna go into that true Messiah and an Aphrodisiac. We're gonna go into that. I want to go into that rabbit hole a little bit. You know, see what they talking about with that under this Chicago Public Housing Authority, aka Section 8, and what they're doing to us in these days, in these situations. Man, come on, okay. Okay, let's see what that mean. Ivana Trump, no. Anna is an ancient Mesopotamian goddess associated with love, beauty, sex, war, justice, and political power. I know they ain't talking about Lightfoot. She was originally worshipped in summer under the name of Ayana and was later worshipped by the Babylonians and Assyrians under the name Ashtar. Y'all know that Ishtar, Ashtar. She was known as a queen of heaven and was a patron goddess of Anna, temple of the city of Urnak, which was her main cult center. She was associated with the planet Venus, and her most prominent symbols included the lion and the 8-pointed star. Her husband was the god Dumaxis, or personal attendant, was the goddess of Nebuchadnezzar, who later became affiliated with the male deities Papacius. Ayana was worshipped in summer, at least as early as the Eunachian period, but she had little cult before the conquest of the Sinai and Anunnaki during the post of Sumerian area. She became one of the most widely venerated deities in the Sumerian pantheon times, with temples across Mesopotamia. The cult of the ancestor I ain't gonna even keep going with all that. Boy, that sound like a cold female right there. But we gonna keep rolling. Chicago Public Housing Authority into gematria, the entities, dimensions, situations, places, people, things, thoughts that go into making of this Chicago killing. Go ahead, Elder, tell them.
So when you have that richer part of ourselves being torn apart, he attacks melanin through the food he puts into our communities. He attacks our DNA genius and what is to come, how we may lead the planet back into its righteous trajectory towards the consciousness, the creative consciousness. He tears that up with the food that we eat, the juices, the kinds of things he puts into our community. The air we breathe with the chemtrails that you see on a clear day, where clouds that don't look like clouds are up above, with planes spewing poisons like barium and aluminum and genetic material that are supposed to be entrained within your lung tissue to change and mutate you.
Oh, what are you talking about? Was we talking about phony baloney? Are we talking about Chicago Public Housing Authority, Section 8, aka spreading this idea, this mentality through the land? You know, like Flavor say, that nigga mentality. You know what I'm talking about? I agree with that, Joe. But this shit reckless out here, the way these motherfuckers act. War, that nigga mentality. You know what I'm talking about? All right, Chicago Public Housing Authority. Phony baloney. Merry Christmas Q. Titanica. Yo, Tanica Karma is. Hold on, man. Titanica Karma is. Let's go. Let's see what that means. Let's. Who the fuck is this? Let's see. Let's find out. Chicago Public Housing Authority, Tanica. Let's see. Y'all, I'm gonna put these words in the chat room when I get a chance. You know what I'm talking about? But right now, y'all gotta rock with me. Okay, sitting bull. So this is some Indian. Okay, sitting bull. What we got here? Sitting bull, Tatanka, Yo Tanka. Okay, I'm gonna call him Takana. I'm gonna call him Takana. Or Sitting Bull is probably the most famous Indian chief in American history. Yet it is not widely known that he spent years or 4 years as a refugee in Canada. So let's say tribal nation, warring, tribes going against each other, gang banging, slide, killing, murder, GDs, BDs, and stuff. Born in is what known as South Dakota, Sitting Bull became political, military, spiritual leader of the Sanak tribe. In 1868, remember those numbers, he made peace with the U.S. Army in exchange for a sizable reservation free of white settlers. In the mid-1870s, however, an influx of gold prospectors and railroad crews outraged the Sanaks, or Soa, you know what I'm trying to say, who left the reservation and joined the Cheyenne and Apache resistance. So he was cold. Okay. I understand. I got Indian in my blood. You know, we Cherokee in here. So we're going back to Chicago Public Housing Authority, and it says 401k, Kim Sun Young, John Paul Rice, The Fires Inside of You, Angelica Jolie Pitt, a vibrational being, and then she the one that adopted that little boy and turned him into a girl. Berkeley Unix, The Easter Bunny, Adrena Dawn, Baby, I don't even know that word name, finna go into it. Trishil 11, Problematic Vibe is an unrespectable person. Hold down the artificial intelligent puppets. Hold down artificial intelligent puppets. The Rape PG Superstar, Scofflaw, Hypocrite Gang Stalker, Inclusive. And we already know what the gang stalk is. We can get into that. Good prevails. Baphomet reveals. It's supernatural. Swears. Sitting in squares is too early for me. Loving godness. Jakar not chosen. Unmonestability. And Samantha sensory. Living talesmen, the Shriners. Swear on that. Never be the same. Dying resurrected. What they call it, Haram Abiff Act. So the Shriners and a lot of Masons were swirling around these situations, you know what I'm saying, playing life coaches. And that's what it turned into. But it was supposed to be something real, you know. Never be the same. In Isaac, you're a seed. Peter Brockman. Daniel Pipes is a cyber criminal. Coil wire. Females can't love. Cyrus C. returns. Mankataba license plates. Black Mercedes from God. The Lord is most gracious. Seth Mack familiar related to the Captain Falcon. He has no one to blame but himself. Jeffrey Elementary School. I can make them disappear, have no fear. That's that gangbanging shit. Yeah, they shed a tear. Let's go though.
He is destroying the ability of your melanin to interface with the dark matter consciousness called Eta Carina and is heading in this direction as we speak today. The black god or the dark god that was talked about in Amos in your Bible. Because they said God is not the light, God is the darkness. They said the darkness was existence, and from the darkness came the light. Well, the darkness is returning, and it's making all the scientists afraid because it's about to give forth with a burst of light. Phosphine genius is about to burst forward. And they say that once it happens, the skies of our solar system, our galaxy, will not see any blackness for a period of 7 days. Now, these are written in the holy books, but these books were not holy books for us to bow down and worship to. These books were there for us to study as books of science set down by our ancestors, who spoke about melanin in the Bible, or what became the Bible that we read today, what became the Quran we read today, the Sefer Yetzirah, the Kabbalah. All of these different books that we read today have to do with the return of the darkness.
The ultimate Illuminati name, Andreas Passy, false prophet, angel number 77. Throne of Satan is the Vatican, and he has cast out the Titans. Lost series for now theories. The 7th day of Christmas, he just said 7 days. If I have to buy it, I'll be mad as hell. You know, you can go to the, if I had to buy this shit, I'd be mad as hell, so let's steal it. You know what I'm saying? What you talking about, Willis? Want to go now, Illuminati. Barney the purple dinosaur. Words sometimes reality. That's one small step for mankind. World's extinction soon. Robert Louis Stevenson. The name that's above every name. Buddha, your Badal Nirvana. Cluster die for your sins. Master Satan is Nick Ushio. Elmheiser's need Snowdrop. I know you are, I miss you. It shall be explained or exalted above the hills. The word follows the beast. Yeshua, King of New Jerusalem. The secret of it all is the pie. P-I. I know y'all know what pie means. New York Police Department. Keep your eye on the prize. Live will love me forever. A day of clouds and thick darkness. Chicago Public Housing Authority, aka Section 8.
Which is the eternal womb, the triple black mother. And right now, it's returning. But you see, our melanin, the genius, the DNA that we're about to speak about is fragmented. So I'm going to try and I'm going to attempt to put together certain things, and which is what I've done. When you asked me what it is that you wanted to speak about the 6-strand DNA series. The series, the 6-strand DNA, the 6th day, I'm going to explain what that means. And the 9-strand DNA series. That has metaphysical ramifications way beyond what their science is revealing to them, or what their own contained mentality will allow them to understand. And this is where the metaphysician has to step in. And this is why Dr. Oyibo is not only so essential to the next phase of consciousness on this planet, but why he is feared by the present structure, the present church of Western scientific thought.
Let's go. The lion from the tribe of Judah, sing by her nation, Indian moon. If you are living, be forgiving. Share Lord with your love. Burn your Bible to the pure ash. Islamic lies is cause of Lucifer. We are completely within God, and this show has just begun. Y'all gotta remember, this is the shit that been implanted in their mind. If it sound wild, like this is the program. You are going to burn in hell. They go to church, and with all the understanding, the 49 gates of trauma. Sin, T-I, sin. Chicago Public Housing Authority, aka Section 8, one God of War, one person, 10G Wi-Fi. My food keeps disappearing. Yeah, I know, right?
So in listening to what it is that you wanted to speak about and hear is global distribution of the DNA series. This is nothing new. This was already known by most of the scientists because there are books written by the early medical scientists who went to study African peoples, who went to study indigenous peoples to the land south of the equator, where the people are darker and more richly melanated. And they wrote a series of medical books attesting to the difference between melanated peoples and white peoples, to the point where their apothecaries and their pharmacies created drugs differently because they had a specifically specialized effect on melanated peoples as opposed to white peoples. For instance, white peoples have more metal in their medicines than black people can tolerate. So they made most of their medicines so that they could not interface. They had to put more metal into them because the Caucasoid is so deficient of iron. Whereas peoples of color have a rich uplaying of dark iron. That's why you get your dark, black, richly melanated color, is because of the fact that your face and your body has laid up iron.
Laid up iron. Okay, it says 10G Wi-Fi. Let's go up into 10G Wi-Fi with this laid up iron in your soul. You know what I'm talking about? Date code pattern. God-born person. The Lord in the flesh. Trump card. Super cool. What was we at with that shit? Well, I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. Yeah. 10G Wi-Fi. I ain't forget that now. We got 5G. I think 10G Wi-Fi. Yeah, let's go back. 10G Wi-Fi holding this. God-born person, the Lord in flesh, Trump card, super cool, Missouri. Nothing is random. I bet it is when you're under that mind control. Anderson Cooper, CNN, super cool, is a sponsor of that Labor Day Sustainable iPhone, Coldplay, Beelzebub, Chamber of Secrets, Iroquois, the Tribe of Ephraim, Conquest, Gazel, Penthouse, Nucleus. Come up, Hitler. Sacred stones. Yeah, I got you.
In it. But to see, the problem is you are like an earth without the plants and the soil and the flowers that grow from it. In other words, back in the days when you had a dark, rich, black earth color, you gave off a greenish, bluish hue. Like you can go today to Senegal and watch those brothers and sisters stand in that sun, and they are so black they shine blue. That's true. But people don't know what the secret to that kind of melanin means. And it means that there are times when our people moving through consciousness as the true earth creatures, that at times when we were in the sun or when we would think a certain emotional thought, one of the chakras would tell us immediately where your thoughts were focused, and you would vibrate that particular color in accordance with your emotions.
Y'all gotta go back to the last program I made about Yakub, the big head scientist, and he's talking about the times before the different race colors and how Yakub separated and created the races. He's talking about the time before that. Man, they sending signals to make me forget the fuck I was gonna say, but yeah, I'm gonna talk.
That's because you were in tune and your melanin.
Oh, and in that series, the king sends a telepathic message to the other king, and this is how it sounds in reality. He's explaining that without, actually using that analogy. But I know if you got to the last series, the last video I made about Yakub, you seen the king telepathy sent the message to the other king because the ghouls, shadow walkers, are getting reckless. The big pigs, the big goop, the big, the big monsters. So he sent a telepathic message to the other king, and then the other king had to handle it, and then they, switched. It's a story. It's beautiful.
Was not disjointed and fragmented. It was connected directly to the interlacing conduits that connected directly to your nervous system. And that nervous system, through its own conduits, connected directly to the etheric body that you had, which is called the breath form, which you commonly call the soul. So your soul, through the nerve estuaries and the electromagnetic wiring in your body, connected you directly to your skin. And the soul had its outward representation in the way that the molecules and the atoms formed you to imitate the triple blackness, because from the blackness came the light, but in order for the light to know itself, it had to be housed back in the blackness.
Bible Hub, best place for discernment. This is your life. The Satanic Illuminists. We're talking about Chicago Public Housing Authority, aka Section 8. No substitutes. Disband on May Day. Aliens come get Austin. Austin Lee Meredith is a demon. That's a Zazel. So whenever you see that, that's a Zazel. He's been in this motherfucking place alone for a minute. I just ain't been reading his ass. Materia, primal consciousness. Let's see what that means. Materia, primal consciousness. We'll go down that rabbit hole right there. I'm gonna check that out. Y'all gotta bear with me. I don't get too, I'm saying? I'm watching my language. Mom, you listen, I love you, Mom. You always told me my language. Now let's go see what it do. In alchemy and philosophy, prima martyris, or first matter, or the physiological exposition referred to prime matter, is an obnoxious starting material, the alchemical magnus opus, the creation of the philosopher's stone. It is the prime formless base of all matter, similar to chaos, the quintessence or ether. Esoteric alchemists describe the primal material using simple and compare it to the concepts like the animal mud. We're going to read that. The animal medulla is, according to several systems of thought, an intrinsic connection between all living things on planet what we're experiencing now, which relates to the world in much more the same way as the soul is connected to the human body. And then we're going to go back to I want to know what this meant. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone, more properly Philosopher's Stone or Stones of the Philosopher, is a mystical alchemical substance capable of turning base metals such as mercury into gold or silver. It is also called the elixir of life. Youthful rejuvenation, aka adrenochrome. In a situation,
You see? So what happens now, we don't understand what color is. We don't understand the science of melanin, what I call dark matter consciousness. And in thus doing it, we do things unconsciously in the spirit. That's why religion is such a, how do I say this? Such a deep, intoxicating, and addicting substance to dark folks. That is the number one place where they can defer and deter the consciousness of black people by setting up a structure to intercept the true spirit. And the one structure that intercepts the true spirit is religion.
Section 8, Chicago Public Housing Authority. 7 signs. Derek T. Jones. The story of Cinderella. Smallpox attack us. Oh shit. Man, quit playing. Whoever doing that shit. It ain't no way. Hell. This shit is just fine. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me take my time under the earth, Jamie. Breathe, nigga. Smallpox attack us. It's time like these times and time again. Continental drift disaster. Saudi's heckling. Profit upon profit. Smart love. Christopher Fracconi's entire life. Preserving bullet galaxies. We're going to preserve you. Bullet galaxies. Area 51 secrets. Send a muttography. Netflix zombies. Eden Rock pavilions. Hold silver. The perfect Yeshua. Creole and the dove. Be shot the Antichrist to death. Be shot the Antichrist to death. Chicago Public Housing Authority. Section 8.
The dogma of religion are to take us away from actually interfacing with the true voice of God that will tell you the name of the Creator, because your DNA is linked to your melanin and your melanin to the pigments on your skin. And that's how you had all these different names for God. Not Jesus. You didn't have these names like Allah. You didn't have all these names. These names came and were fostered upon you because you had names like Ukulukulu. That was the sound of the cosmic resonance of the drums. And the way Most High spoke to you, so you spoke back the name that was given to you directly. You didn't need a second-hand interpreter to give you a name for God. God already gave you its name wherever you were on the planet, because the name that you called God where you were on this planet was the harmonic frequency necessary to keep the balance of the overall planet in place.
Yakub and his brother Yeshua. One came to create death, one came to take death, meaning his life. Let's go back to what he said. The Gnostics are the truth. Chicago Public Housing Authorities, a.k.a. Section 8. Lorenzo Max. Hiwi Guananto Kill. Solvents. Swim Fam. The manifestation of the cross. Beyond human imagination. Florida Keys shall be no more. Brian Kennedy. Wade Randall. Rivals for Life. Children of Divorce. Driver's Side. 5th of November. Fantasy Illuminati. Esoteric Righteousness. Egocentric righteousness too. He who carries the pail of water, emotions, or the pimp barrel. We already know Don Juan, Pimp Cup. Quit playing, man. Boy, y'all help me learn, y'all. Please learn.
So when this Caucasoid came around and began ripping up all of your religious sounds and your music and the way you spoke directly to the Creator, it ripped up and tore apart the planet so much now that it begins to wobble. The planet itself today wobbles because every one of us is calling out somebody named Jesus who never existed.
Never existed. That's correct.
So your melanin can be used to keep you in the prison because it's easily infected with illusion.
Let's go. He who carries the pail of water, communist sympathizer, Democratic Party. Saint Gashi, the bitch in the meds. Wow, that's a crazy coincidence. It's funny, everybody said, wow, that's a crazy coincidence, but it's saying, no, it's not a crazy coincidence. This is the Matrix, and it's a reason this shit is going on. Something like we got in the Hood X Lick. You know, you just say, oh, wow, that's crazy. Oh, wow, that's crazy. No, that's synchronicity. Whether it's bad or good synchronicity, it's still synchronized. It's not crazy. Let's go into that though. Let's see what they want to. That's probably a word. You know, man, we only got shot in the head. What do we got killed? What do I got shot? Oh, that's crazy. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, that's crazy coincidence. Because as soon as he went outside, he said something told him to stay in, but he went outside and then he came back in the house and the other one kept walking. He got shot. But then he said he's gonna get shot. He might die the other day, so he started preparing for his death. Wow, that's a crazy coincidence. Let's add sound. I'm sorry, y'all, but we're gonna go into that. The Rothschilds purchased the Medici Place in France, and their Renaissance artwork is foolish to use abbreviations. That he who bless himself in the earth shall bless himself, the God of the truth, constantly working with the spirit. Do you people like your corrupt world? Secret technology released in USA 2019. 8 arrows rolled out in Chicago. Quit playing with me, man. Let me go back. Let me go back to where I was at before I get too lost. And that was explaining. I was just explaining. Wow, that's a crazy coincidence. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go back into that. So, wow, that was a crazy coincidence under the Chicago Public Housing Authority. Want to go into it some more? Let's go. The 12 hive minds of Saturn. 12 hive minds of Saturn. Remember, I always told y'all Saturn, shadow, moon, matrix. And you go back on my videos if you want to get into that. But we're gonna dip into that. What do they mean by that? Let's go into that rabbit hole. Let's see what they talking about. Hive man. They talking about Beyonce now. Under the Beyonce Act, Beehive. Beyonce got to do with the projects. I know y'all. I ain't seen nobody wearing leotards in the projects. Y'all know better. You know better than wearing them leotards out there like that. Okay, let's go. Which one I want to do? Let's go. Group hive mind. Let's see what the hive mind is. A group mind, group ego, mind osculensis, or gestalt intelligence in science fiction is the plot device in which multiple minds or conscious are linked into a single mind, collective conscious or intelligence. The first alien hive society was depicted as H.G. Wells, the first men on the moon. While the use of human hive minds in literature goes back at least as far as David H. Keller's The Human Territory, such and such. The term may be used interchangeably with hive mind. Hive mind tends to describe a group mind in which linked individuals have no identity or free will or are possessed or mind controlled as extension of the hive mind. It is frequently associated with the conception of an entity that spreads amongst individuals and suppress and subsume their conscious in the process of integrating them into its own collective conscious. The concept of the group of the hive mind is an intelligent version of real life superorganisms such as a beehive or ant colony. Now I'm gonna explain what that meant with the hive mind. I'm gonna go into the field. I'm gonna explain that. I'm gonna break that down now. Chicago Public Housing Authority under the Section 8, they have a very highly hive mind thing going. Everybody wear the same thing. Everybody wear the same weave. Everybody wear the same shoes. Everybody wear the same pants, according like you see on O Block, where the boy was popping all them tags. In representation, that was a hive mind situation because everybody out there had on whatever the tag was. He was popping them off their clothes. Hive mind. Now, in saying that, I grew up in Chicago. You know, you 9, you 10, you going to 11, 12. Your buddies out jumping off the porch. You jump off the porch, big dog, them say, come let me holler at y'all. Hey, man, here go a pack. Half mine, go. My man, no. But shit, I gotta go. What you mean you gotta go, man? What else I'm gonna do? They getting money, they getting females. I get in, they get money, we get females. They part of the hive mind. I'm just entertaining it, but I don't know why I'm not. Because spiritual people, I was from heaven, trying to figure this earth shit out, not trying to, from earth trying to get to heaven, so like that. So, but fuck that. I ain't gonna even talk about that. We're gonna talk about the shorty. He don't want to do this. He don't want to do this, but he like, man, Joe, they come through, spray the block up. Chief Wacko will say, come on, Joe, Lord, come on, man. You out here, go to pistol, you go your pistol, Joe. I want y'all to go handle that. What you gonna say? Even if you don't want to go, what you gonna say? I have man technology. So you gotta go. These one of these niggas scared, but they can't say nothing, so they go anyway. And then one of them just did this before, so he's gone. They shoot him, cock, cock. You see a head, nigga head split. Boom, boom. You shoot, boom, boom. You get back. Police looking for you, gotta lay low. Chief say go back and do it again. You like you can't say no now. You see what I'm saying? Now you turned out. Imagine a child that don't want to do it but gotta do it. Because if you don't, you're gonna be looked at like a bitch, or they gonna do it to him. That's not fair. You know what I'm saying? What was that? So we went to the 12 Hive Minds, and I just read the group Mind Under the Saturn Moon Matrix, and we already know what the Saturn Moon Matrix, but we talking about the little boy again. I'm just going to reiterate this to y'all. The Hive Mind, what got him doing it. Everybody got bodies, everybody drills, so he got to get his drill. He closed his eyes when he shoot the first time. He wink him a little bit when he shoot the second time, but that's the fact that the shit split in his eyes so quick, the blood in the brain, he got, can't sleep at night. Because it's like, if any of y'all seen Tales from the Crypt, they come in your dreams and they ask you questions like, nigga, you ain't have to kill me. My man had 14 bodies, and he was like, man, Joe, I used to watch his ass jump up and shit, like, I'm like, nigga, you cool? He's like, I'm cool. They keep talking to me, man. It's like, they be like, you ain't have to kill me, man. You ain't have to kill me. I'm like, calm down, nigga, go some water, breathe. Yeah, nigga, real shit I don't like to talk about.
And that's why we must know ourselves from inside out. And if this is a chance for me to speak more deeply upon what it is we need to do, I'm going to actually do my best to be here to speak on that.
Thank you.
Thanks. Now, I need to read into the record for everyone some things that I put down very quickly for us to understand or understand around what this DNA situation is and what this whole concentration on genetics and what's going on with the genetics of disease, and we found a gene for cancer and the gene for leukemia and the gene for that. You can go down to Woolworths and find genes. There's genes in everything biological. But he needs to do that. He needs to think that he is in control, because he is going to poison you with what he finds. He can't do anything good with what he finds. He needs to keep poisoning you, because by your suffering and pathology, he lives. Know that the medical system does not exist by your health. It exists based on you being maintained within a pool of pathology.
Correct.
So his control, his science is to find out what may harm you so that he may stay in control. There is no upliftment in his science, because he has completely extricated the principle of the deity of God within all of his science. You cannot find deity in any of his sciences. Therefore, it has to be satanic. So the study of genetics, the study of medicine, the study of all of the biologies that he has is a satanic study, because he does not believe that a divine intelligence operates all things.
Nocturnal talking tractor. I don't know what that is, but that's a nocturnal talking tractor. I ain't gonna go into that. Dangerous game in the last days. The meek shall inherit the earth. All politicals are corrupt. Nathaniel Mendez, lazy failure. I am the bright and morning star. Hot plate left overnight. Path of love turned from self. I have no control over this. Fortis is the hour. Deny Jesus Christ and Jehovah. Seen by her nation is Dame Pope. I got help by many prophecies. Screech is available for adoption. Ireland created Europe Union. Barack Obama delights in wickedness. I am sick of feeling this way. Die today and live tomorrow. Yeah, we know that motherfucker, how they get down in Chicago. Big one principle can solve war. Where was the research done at? God forgave me because he's awesome. Beyond the Milky Way galaxy, they do not know anything. Love all your children equal. The 23rd Trump is time. They are like lying hypocrites and make an angel any way she wants. The goddess who is the Messiah, warrior Palladian of Jesus. When young becomes a ritual, pale horse is a unicorn. And I know y'all know Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper.
Now, if I may ask you a question, if you prefer this to go completely and into
break down to make certain proteins and sugars that begin to attach themselves along the DNA. Now, this DNA has these little signatures here because through your body every day, through your body, there are waveforms, light waveforms that are constantly bombarding through your body, more refined, giving you information.
Right here, what we doing right now. These are thought wave light forms vibrating your body, giving you information. I wish none were here but her and I. Somebody wants some ass. No, I haven't working out. No, I haven't been working out. Me so horny to live. Me so horny to laugh. Crew. I'm gonna read this. This is a scenario going on in one of them houses, bombarded. Now, I wish none were here but he and I. No, I haven't been working out. Me so horny to laugh. Crew. Now that's playing. Burn alive, corrupt cops. I wish you were here. That's probably Easy E. You know what I'm saying? Back when they was like, fuck the police. Burn alive, corrupt cops. I wish you were close to me. Now, there's a lot of going on in this. At this, you know, he put the book, he hold a pale white horse down, and she said, "I wish none were here, but he and I." And she looked at him like, "Yo," he said, "You been working out?" He said, "No, I haven't been working out." And then they cut on the radio, and Me So Horny Too Loud who came in, but you know what's going on already. Burn alive, corrupt cops probably switched that shit to goddamn it, fuck the police under the Easy E Act. I wish you were close to me. So they switched the music up to surprise some Marvin Gaye. You know what I'm saying? Get a little closer. I have a global water monopoly. You know, bust a nut. Dang Lorraine Pope with love. Pumpkin craving patterns. Totally void of humanity. The wicked are already screwed. Singing won't change anything. And it look like they commit adultery in that motherfucker. Come on, y'all, quit playing.
And that information is coming from the outside in the form of light and in the form of your emotions and the form of your thought processes and the form of the electrical magnetic energies in your nerves are passing through the DNA as well. Okay? Now, each amino is a microprocessor of light signature frequencies. It's an antenna for the reception of light codes. Now, let me be very clear about that. Light codes are essentially coming from the sun, but it's also coming from all of what you call stars, coming from constellations. The 12, of course, you know, being the zodiac. Each zodiac has a specific space wherein this world spins. There are 12 of them around us, and we're inside of that. And everywhere we go, they are positioned in different areas as we travel around this and the sun itself. So we're inside this light fixtures. Just like this light is beaming on me, that would be Aquarius. One behind me would be Leo, or all of these. So we're inside of these 12 light fixtures. And behind them, there are 12 or 200 more. So we're getting all these refined form of lights. These coming together and interfacing with one another constitute the light codes that hit us finally.
Here we go. Chicago Public Housing Authority. Yeshua being Maria. Zeus manifest. Children of the Devil. And in Fifth Reich, September 10th. Fraudulently. Senator Richard Shelby. Actors are really. Mop your floor. Italians are too boring and old-fashioned. They must be watching a mob movie, you know. Some of you know how it go back in the day. Samuel Lilith, Eve Cain. Samuel Lilith, Eve Cain. And that's a little rough right there. That whole dynamic of that name just ruthless. You know what I'm saying? It's just Samuel with Lilith, Eve, and Cain. Chicago Public Housing Authority in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Fake David Icke, unclean, not a possible solution. They don't even want to fuck with David Icke. Treatment for adrenaline fatigue. Yesharel is the harlot. Satan fall 9 times an hour. Satan fall 9 times an hour. Let's see what the hell that mean, man. What that mean by that? Let's go into that a little bit though. Satan fall 9 times an hour. Okay. What does my name mean? The most royal man alive. DJ Shadow Mind. Because I love you. Public service announcement. Goodbye. And I have a nice day. Yeah. Let's go into that name though. I want to see what they talking about. Y'all got a positive body. I want to see what that means though. That we went a little bit into that. It had that to say. We ain't trying to see what that is. We gotta keep this show going. You know what I'm talking about? All right. Satan fall 9 times an hour. Yeah. Did you mean that? Yes. Fuck, I mean, okay. To read that, Satan fall 9 times an hour under the Chicago Public Housing Authority, Section 8. Okay, this shit small as hell. Let me see. All right, hold on. Let me boost it up a little bit. They trying to play with me, y'all. All right, let's go. Let's get that back down a little bit. All right, let's go. Satan's journey through darkness, briefly narrated at the beginning of the book 9 in Paradise Lost, involves 2 passages which have received sufficient scholarly interest to earn the status of the independent periscope. The journey juxtaposed with Satan's earlier entry into Eden serves to intensify and enlarge the scope of the unfolding actions. Critics contend Satan travels at least 3 and as much as 10 full days and have located him on the surface of the earth as well as the celestial poles. A review of the Orthodox interpretation of this episode and the revisionist readings offered in the last 30 years discovered the soundness of the traditional view that Satan's sojourn fills 7 24-hour periods. That Satan's sojourn fills 7 24-hour periods and take place on Earth. The 7-day interpretation allows important implications for the epic overall chronology foregrounds thamic patterns lost in alternative readings. The space of the 7 continued nights he rode with darkness traced the equinoctial line he circled. 4 times crossed the car of night for pole to pole, traversing each color. On the 8th return and on the coast averse from entrance into the Caribbean, watched the stealth found unsuspected way. Fuck that, man. It don't make no fucking sense. It confused me. Quit playing. Chicago Public Housing Authority.
Okay? And as the light is hitting us, we're breathing in the residuals of those light particles that are given off. And we're getting information and messages. So, these proteins and these amino acids are micro chakras, and I'll explain all of that, all connected to the 7 primary chakras. Each microprocessor amino has a code combination. Each has a 3-letter code. So you can imagine now that the microprocessor aminos has a 3-letter code. And we're going to get into showing you how you can just cut this part right off.
But what he said, the skin makes us hurt. I am holy, die holy. December hardcore GTA Zanaka. Jahar bad Muslim. All right, baby, probably gonna come. Here we go with that again. Irish Veronica. Larry Humphreys. USA, Israel, Syria. Planet represents elements. Amon Ra and Viril. Love Hamish Oracle. Taylor comes to Eric. Talking to Dead at Cemetery. Yeah, remember that. Jasper in the Pursuit of Burning Bodies. Firearms Registration Database. Gypsies Scare Black People. Sacrifice to Scarab exposed. As God, my husband I adore. Jennifer Nicole Miller checks these VINs. That's a complaint stupid. I'm straight out like a, hold on, this is 70s word. Let me see. I'm straightened out like a line. Obama dead by May 10th. Annabelle Sky is a vegan. Nitrohydroglycerin, the spinning ball, monkeys, Diagonal cross shortcut, Earth calls ruckus, the goddess brought there a game. MetLife, Tech S, Whitney S, Frank S, Secret Society, SSS, Virginia Tech University, Tavistock Institute of Social Engineering, I'm referring that to that, 1 through 33, 33-degree Masonry, 21 kill-off moon, Andrew prefers white women. Pokedex number 151, Soul Evolution of Mankind, I am crossing a rainbow bridge, Charlie Lang's meet Yvonne Bassi, Ultimate TV 9000, Rayas RF negative blood type, when will we meet in person? No Pharmacy by Waterflower. Carl Phillips, a river spirit, Venus delivery demolished. Shudder bleeds queen, lioness, dove, everyone just fighting. As above, below, uses of a real image. You may have overshot it. It means you're now a loser. Dave Skylark, the interview. Opposite of Jesus Christ, the federal government is corrupt. What happens after the sacrifice? Gulf War syndrome cure for the Azazel. We are in a dream. God is a dreamer. What is the unforgivable sin? The Nephilian were the Khazars. Samaria Robin Shadowski. Wintergreen King, oh wow. Liberty Bell 7, phony love of force. Phony love from sorcery. And closed interest cage, the rocks. Yeah, this is how to get to heaven. I bet nobody actually wanted. What is the function of dirt? Chicago Public Housing Authority.
A three-letter code. These are chemical codes used to articulate different combinations of carbon, melanin, hydrogen, melanin, oxygen, melanin, and nitrogen, melanin. That they collectively go into the constitution of aminos created to receive specific light code instructions. There are 20 known light code antenna processors presently identified by Western medical science. 20 known antenna that define the biocosmic temple we call the human body. The human genetic code is comprised of 64 possible code variations, what they call codons. Now, if you know anything about the ancient I Ching, what they call the ancient Chinese way of dealing with reading, I, and then it's called I and then CHING, there are 64 different combinations that you could throw of the coins that they give to you. And those 64 combinations of 3 are directly linked to how the code. So if you know how to do I Ching, you can judge what is going on in the human condition based upon your sympathy with the energies of the planet. You can throw those I Ching coins, 4 I Ching coins or the 3 I Ching coins, depending on what system you use. You can throw those I Ching coins and read what's happening to you and interface, because all 64 possibilities have a code next to them that our ancient ancestors wrote down.
President David Bridge unveiled. Macmillius 2016. I am David Nathaniel Bridge of Waukena. Platoon New White House Dog. Yeshua, creator of the heavens. Matthew Thomas Ramsey Karma. I don't want to be jacked anymore. 77 M13. Yeshua is the light of Yahweh. Chicago Public Housing Authority. Section 8.
Okay? And they're linked to the so-called DNA. Now, the human genetic code is comprised of 64 possible code variations. It is these 64 variations that represent the limit or the wall of our perception for Western science. And this 64 code variations that I explained is to the Western science a complete mystery. There is nothing beyond it, because the present perception of humanity and science cannot go beyond the 64 coded wall. It's like 64 bricks to this particular wall that they cannot see beyond. The mystery is that there are 64 possibilities, but only 20 light code antenna keys turned on and are in working order. So, if we know that there are only 20 possible variations within the chemical codes for aminos, and there are 64 possible code variations, it means that 44 code variations that would then link us up to a higher reality within ourselves are missing.
Decode ABCDEFG. Sharon Lacoste. Cyberpunk is incredible. Marcus Brutus. The meaning of 11. Tom Huff Brownstein Messiah. Plenty of fish dating app. Dalton Knoll Hannah Polartage. You'll regret it. My life isn't a game. Life isn't a game. I dreamed my first dream of him. Global flow. Shot the Antichrist to be deaf. Should not and do not trust. Will Facebook get heavier? The devil is near. Fat people are easier to control. Deja Cutter Bomb. Daniel Bruce Burley. Starting to feel stupid. Frown. 17 Gabar. The key to the gate of Babylon. White Fang. Land. You soul. Land you a soul too. Come from God and return to God. See the chopped shelvers hanging out. I mean, niggas on the corner getting the money and shit like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Now, here's this man coming along to say that in the southern regions of Africa, below the equator, right now, at this point, there are evidences of people that are supposed to be primitive. Primitive meaning first, but to them, primitive meaning idiotic and savage. But not understanding that these people hold on to the primary code keys that humanity had when they first fell out of spirit. If they found 9, understand that there are 3 that's only missing from them, and 6 missing from them. Because the first stages of being able to climb out of the present perceptual paradigm is to link up to the 12 DNA series. He only got to 9.
Finding God in yourself. Virgins and grace. Julie Lee Meredith. Your toast. God pierced our Bronquan. My dispel has been dispelled. Strumberless spirits. Rest high on that mountain. Freaky scary. I had to risk my life for it. Get pregnant future life. Draco Hellsman do grant truth. Nubaru Palestine abundance. Will Graham. Catcher Iowa. Very few understand the Bible. Had a son named Yesh Yavosha. Catawash Monster is a real mountain. Cross-eyed Satanist. Thunder Kid 65. Wesley Terry Capri. Grow weed and play guitar. When will else fails trust to God? Sound like your boy Jimi Hendrix. Somebody listen to Jimi Hendrix. When all else fails, trust God. But wonders you will see. George Washington, Gale Ferry. King Zeus, God of the great power. Murder done of the Kennedys. Yeah, back in them days, brought new to Europe. Thunder Kid 65 again. I wonder what they're trying to tell us with Thunder Kid 65. Let's see. You are happy now? Divine Gene, bride of Jesus Christ. Went to hell before as a young man. And roof burning in a galaxy far away. Sherry Shriner's organ kills evil aliens. All avatars of the one true God in a play. Wow, so humble. The third value observation. I don't like dogs. All they do is snort. Fuck out of here. Yeah, I know. You can't handle dogs in sometimes, you know what I'm talking about?
And we're going to explain what that means. So here we have a problem with the amino sequence. Let's just use one amino acid, the amino acid leucine. Leucine. Now, the amino acid leucine reveals something very deeply in us. I mean, it shows something that they have found out in us. And it shows something that we as metaphysicians have been trying to tell people for a long time, the occultists, the shamans, we tell people, we are locked down. We can't see beyond the present perception because we have refused to release it.
There we go.
And religion is that lock because it does not explain the spirit.
What makes a fish pool so great? LeBron James was scared of college. These are the good things that's going into that light cold lockdown in your mind. In the Chicago Public Housing Authority projects, aka Section 8, November 11th. Jesus of Nazareth was an alien. That's how they had him thinking. War for peace is like peace for war. I was beaten up by my brother. It is evil not to fight evil. World leader Azazel. Women feel sorry for Satan. 1.732. 1.732. 1.732. Was it a radio station? I wish you would bless New Year's. Winged figures of the Republic. We are going to build a great wall. Two-way on our extra credit. The Ten of Swords reversed. Going to the Ten of Swords reverse. Yeah, we're going to dip into that too. We're going to jump right into that. I want to know what under the Astrology Act, Section Hills Public Housing Authority got to do with the Ten of Cups reverse, the 7 colors of the rainbow. Show me the way. We are more than we seem to be. The unconscious glamoring for admission to the conscious. Vaporwave. Are they going to ban me for other people trolling my topic through the Archangel Razatel from the source of creation? Jesus, Ben, Job, Joseph, Io, Horace, Joseph, J. Leela, Gemaria wants Austin, Bob Lers are looking for Caprian tablets. Michael found golden plates. Very wet G-spot. I like that. I thought Prophets was lying. And the 10 swords in reverse again. Let's go back. God damn. 10 of swords, in reverse. I know y'all know what that means. I'm gonna find out though. No, we do. 10 swords in reverse, Chicago Housing Project. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, it's a card. The Ten of Swords reverse symbolizes that you have accepted reality. They say, fuck it, man, this is what it is. Instead of rationalizing it away. The Ten of Swords upright or reverse asks you to accept truth so that you can finally release from feeling metaphorically chaste. The light on this card symbolizes the sunlight is the best disinfectant. Go get y'all some motherfucking sun, huh? I'll go a little bit up into that some more. Okay. Now you close your eyes and look up and you feel the sunlight. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, right here. When the Ten of Worlds reveals, the sunlight now appears at the top of the card. The clouds are parting and the lightning is returning. Once again, this card reminds you that the light will always return no matter how many dark days you've experienced. There is a quality of resignation to this card. When it appears, life will no longer feel like a breathless spirit. Avoid difficult inevitabilities. People getting shot in Chicago. The storm has happened. And now it's time to assess where to go from here. Pick yourself up, brush the dirt off your shoulders, and stand up tall once again. The Ten of Swords reverse symbolize that you have accepted reality instead of rationalizing it away. Challenges in life do not present themselves to destroy you, but rather to motivate you to grow beyond your current limitations. Dark Night of the Soul. Look on challenges from a different perspective. With the wise eyes of spirit, you will always see the way out of the maze when viewing it from high above. Like what Flight Ball said about the angle. You look at down, bend yourself to a certain angle of the light, you can perceive the situation and don't get involved in it. You don't want to go too far down. You know what I'm talking about? When the Ten of Swords reverse appears, you are learning that the source of your anxiety is merely a puzzle to solve. Stop avoiding your growth by keeping busy. The Ten of Swords upright or reverse asks you to accept truth so that you can finally be released from feeling metaphorically chased. The light is on this card symbolize sunlight is the best disinfectant. Raise your shadows into the light, and they will no longer haunt you. Ten of Swords, Chicago Housing Project, that's the word for that. Let's see what the elder got to say.
It tells you to believe But when you believe, it means that you have surrendered your critical thinking and your reasoning mind to accept something based upon what somebody else has said, not first-hand experience. Here's the problem. This society, Western society, is not based in first-hand experiences. Western society is based on vicarious experiences, which means we go to movies, TVs, we go to different shows to see other people enjoy first-hand experiences with us. So,
okay, where are we going? Home, Sophia. Western Burn Cemetery Street. Rot out sets feel awkward. Bartholomew Jojo Simpson. The zipper between reality. Jesus was the essence, not a Jew. But who wants to live in? The two-edged sword Zeus. The manifestation of truth. Massey over the rainbow. Two-way Havana extra credit. How my pushing works. I didn't say pussy, I said pushing. How many punishings work? How many punishing works? Gotcha.
A second-hand experience does not allow for certain parts of our bodies to develop. It does not allow for certain consciousness, cellular consciousness to be awakened. Because when you take away first-hand experience, you take away the soul's ability to interface with the moment on an organic level, and thus traps the spirit or the soul in a paradigm always looking for itself, which is a first-hand experience with itself. So now you have a creature who is living completely by vicarious experiences. Okay, go to church, come to the preacher will strike up the band's music tells you sing these songs trigger a vicarious experience in you. You now, based on the programming, are told that Jesus is doing that to you, but you're doing it to yourself.
What is the New World Order? Pentagon is overpriced junk, right upside down backwards, and falsehood for nothing else. Draco albinos are as holy as can be. It's the only way it could be. Her number are 3 and 7. Syria war, Iran war, Pacific war. All this nonsense really directly bankrupt Cabal Town. Jesus was Satan's favorite. Jesus is pure. The overlord known as Kar. Satan world universe war. Trinity the Wrath. Jehovah guardian of Ya'an. And the world was made beautiful. I love you, Stephen Wheeler. The Pope is the false prophet. Endless sins of the wealthy. Donald Trump for president. Mob, meatloaf, we want it now. Somebody wants some meatloaf. Ed engineer working hot. Wow. The Wally flowers, one headlight. You know what that be like? An extremely loving woman summons air conditions. They call that black give out some air conditions in this motherfucker to the housing project.
And you've accepted the programming that somebody is doing this for you. I'm feeling Jesus because why? The preacher says that feeling that you're feeling while you're in this place is Jesus. But you don't understand that he is using your own spirituality, your own inheritance of the spirit.
Before honor is humility. New Year's countdown live is not what it looked like. Mini 2021. King Joseph Gregory Hallett. Jesse Cole, the King of North. Caterpillar 797. He was serious and mad about it. What God imagines, God manifests. Joseph Smith, prophet of God, who shall rise from the grave. Counterfeit Holy Spirit. The world hates the disciples. My power is growing daily, and the famine was sore in the land. Yes, Obama is Satan for who realize, yo, I know your ways and your days. You know, fuckers be rapping in this bitch. I feel them.
And spending your inheritance by keeping you high on ignorance. Okay. So understand now that what I'm trying to say is that At this present time, the present amino acid structure that science is studying is simply based upon a vehicle that is stuck in its own ignorance.
Chicago Public Housing Authority into Gematria Section 8. A prophecy is fulfilled. The Caesar is the seat of Caecilius. Hack the planet system. MQA spiritual discernment. Officer Kerry ran to CIA safe house. Gatekeeper of the East solely eclipse. I am the least successful. Self-stuck Avares Avarono. I am the ideal of aliens made flesh incarnated, all is one. Decode Alex Baldwin. King Arthur, son of goddess Diana. Anubis Arumus Erules. A true ray of light. I am Bob White, the chosen divine Pantheon pentagram. 11 terrestrial tesseracts. Improve health. Shut up delusion. Martingale strategy. Carolyn Burke. Trump HSN gas cloud. Central Intelligence Agency dies. Saturday. The supercomputer. God saves America. The pleasure obstacle of the ego. Revelation King. Saturn is good, said the moron.
As soon as you awaken this vehicle, this entity creature, all of these codes will change. In the twinkling of an eye, didn't the Bible say? But you can't do that if you keep the eyes blind and the out of them.
That's right. Yeah.
See? And the knowledge of oneself puts the twinkle back into one's eyes. But understand this. Now, the amino leucine looks like this. UUA. These are the way that they are set up in sequence. UUA, UUG, and these are the way the proteins are set up. The protein aminos are set up. CUU, CUC, CUA, and CUG. Now, if you're looking at it, we have 6 completely different chemical combinations, but they all still add up. These 6 different completely chemical combinations. These are 6 completely different chemical combinations for amino acids, but they all add up to leucine. Which means, and this is happening throughout the whole DNA helix, which means that humanity is stuck or locked down in a consciousness of redundancy.
Let's go to that. He put in UUA. Let's go into UUA. UUA. One of the DNA sequences. 401-258-43. Christian God. Here's code. God's code 728-64888. Lord and Nikki, a dragon. Christ encoded. 1767 commission. Gold standard. Tattoo. Neuron Casper. Tax. The cure. The meaning of Michael. First seal. March 11th. Dome of the Rock. Free hugs. Ultra portal. Launch America. Aretha Franklin. Haircut. Quantinanon. Colonel Pipeline. Sharon Last. Commission. Furium. Bird of Paradise. NFL schedule. Breathless. UUA DNA.
The consciousness redundancy that we are presently locked down in means that we can't see to the next phase of our development in the journey of life. And what has happened for the last 2,000 years is that a force has been placed upon us, has been imposed upon us. We have been forced into this reality to believe something that you don't understand. And you know what Stevie said? If you believe in things you don't understand, you suffer. Superstition ain't the way. And what is religion but superstition? Understand and understand that our redundancy, the reason why we are continuing to be at this pace, constantly suffering as peoples of color, is because we have played into the illusion of ourselves.
Total animation of people. I do not know how to proceed. Stubborn as a mule and blind as a bat. Reset is the great tribulation. There are no female angels in heaven. Exceedingly accord Igmanode. Ariel Shackman First Beast. American Pharaoh 666. Entertainment purposes. Donald Marshall Mine is lost. Phoenix Rawin, Logan Oren, Little Horn the Antichrist. But they are all tired of you. Balanced neurotransmitters. I am the only hope you all have. I'll be your candle on the water. Computer is the best system. C Palladian super good sex. Fourth dimensional Eurasia. Everything stops today. God, Holy Bride, Wife, and the Angel of God. Palestine State Declaration. March 2020. Power to shut the heavens. 2352. Blasphemy equals hell. I know you all know that. An anointed yak. Domination, oath, guns and roses, November rain, falsely accused of many things.
We have adopted an alien perception of reality. We act to give life to this corpse, this Frankenstein that was created on the slab. You know what happened when Frankenstein was awoken. Our electricity, our life force gives life to this Frankenstein monster. And what happened when it got up? It started tearing up the village. So it's our focus of attention to the church, to the politics, to the education system. Those are all the limbs of the Frankenstein monster. The more we give our children over to that, the more energy we give to the Frankenstein monster. And then we turn around and wonder what's happening to our village. Because the children you send into that beast, into that laboratory they call the classroom, comes back as the Frankenstein monster. That's not your child anymore. It's being genetically changed, altered in consciousness.
A Delta Dawn, CNBC television, decode Hillary Clinton Rodman. I am a living goddess. Rob Hayes excerpt. Is Archangel Michael and Archangel Samuel one and the same? Strong Delusion USA. Black is the devil. Helix, Lux, Lucifer's Fairy. You fill your mind with all this stuff he's saying. 999 Yeshua. Salvador Dal, Bill Barr is being tired for treason. Eurasius. Disrespectful and arrogant. Rothschild Monarch Band. Donald Trump is a Mexican. Blame your creation. Dumb beetle to mushroom. Me making the funniest face possible. Never fool. The secret is inside Kendra's heart. A how long? Contaminated completely high priest, high prizo, a search, decoded year of the ox. Loser serving gang stalkers. The CIA is the devil. American do not really fall. 7 snakes, Hebrew name. The future is male to female. Send the dogs after Ray. George Floyd's funeral. I am the Lord, no claim, more proof. I search a towel. Lucy is impatient. And he just got to talking about the Lucy gene. Lucy is impatient.
So the monster lives. And the redundancy continues. And you get another a newspaper where another brother is shot. Another sister is raped. Another child is abandoned. How much longer is this thing going to go on? As long as we continue to think in redundancy, this is continuing to happen.
Lucy is impatient. Satanic order of Ray. Amen. Legalism, shortages, perceptions. You are not God. From the Skies magazine, decode God's Vatican. Dallas James, sidewall, no religion. The Great Lakes water thieves. It will be holy year of mercy. The underground resistance. Beta programming at Disneyland. The hosts for Satans are Satans. Are you understanding now? Activation of the Star of David. Dead AC breast cast into the lake of fire. The true nature of reality. Perceptive define truth. What rhymes with 12? Henry John Dangeroff. James chapter 4 verse 10. I can't help it. I am a robot thought. I can't help it. A robot thought. Enlighten him to your way. I can't help it. A robot thought. Light him to your way.
And we have now become addicted to our own comfort. Miserable as we are, we're still addicted to this semi-comfort that we call reality. If you want to truly change, you have to suffer. Period. If you pull away your electricity and say, I'm not using electricity anymore. If you say, I'm not going down to the Piggly Wiggly, or I'm not going down to the A&S, I'm not going down to any of these things that feed this Frankenstein. You watch this thing come crumbling down like a house of cards. But you got to remember that your Negro preacher, your Negro politician, your Negro educator is there constantly wanting to go and pay homage to the monster because
Truly deserve to be erased. The movie Deep Impact has a message. As wicked as the black nobility, what he just was saying. Dark Vader, free your mind. Ice House, Green, Southern Land. $60 trillion. The true father of humanity. See your mission on earth. Joseph Coat of many colors. The procedure of the brainwash. Beast of Revelations. The Italian mafia wants the wall. Catastrophic in Spain. WXOKF. New Jerusalem, the city of peace, crowned with many crowns. Are we in the stink luxury yet? If anyone wants to harm them, Donald Trump at the alley forge, continually prosperity, intentionally focused and driven. This will be my last manifesto. Broken promises break hearts. Highest angel, grandchild of God's Sue, Goddess Venus has returned. This honesty about illness, who killed Priest Kennedy.
because that's who he's plugged into. I didn't care that Sharpton was speaking at some Democratic National Convention. That ain't gonna change Harlem. Harlem is dying. Yes. Rango gave that away. Yes, he did. That's your other Negro politician. They're there to serve the illusion, to serve Dr. Frankenstein. And it's your DNA that's being perverted every day by the way that they're putting their food there, converting the foods and perverting the foods, and you go in there and eating anything and everything that comes into your community. And eating is a form of communication. Know that. I spoke about that in my nanogenetic mind control. That when you change the genetics of the food, you teach the genetics of the human being. Because when the human being consumes that food, it begins to pervert the genetics. So you can genetically mind control somebody without lifting a finger by simply getting them to eat the food that you're perverting. And your body no longer is going to be the same. The legacy that you have from your genetics, your sperm and your egg, will no longer be the same genetics passed on to that child. And that's why you have so many faggots and homosexuals and lesbians running around today. I know you're mad at me for what I'm saying, but somebody's got to say it. At the end of every civilization, there's one thing common to all of them. Greece, Sumer, Kemet, all of them fell just when homosexuality began to rise. Go back to all of your histories and see if I'm lying. And that's based on perverted genetics. So understand that what we're doing right here is not just floating off the top and putting up theories or what do you call it. This is a science that they will never teach in school. They'll never teach the young genetic student. Why is there such a redundancy just to one amino acid? Because the redundancy is the effort of the body to find an escape route out of the present condition that it's in. Maybe this combination might do it. No, you did something here to stop this from converting out of or evolving out of. So then they created this one. And then this one. All of it indications of the body trying to find a way out of it because as a byproduct of life, it is in motion constantly. You stop it with emotion. The one thing about science that they teach you is that science and life and all that lives, all that is science is about movement and motion. And when you stop motion, you stop life. The motion is